Okay, today is Tuesday, August 10th. Today I will be developing loads for a 40. Now, did my research, and these are the loads I got from some of the forums. And these I got from the books. So what I'm planning on doing is, since I have powder disc, I'm going to do 4 grains, 4.3, 4.6. I think the last one is 4.5. I'm only going to be developing 10 rounds. Well, it's a 50 round box. So I might do a little bit, I might do an over 5 point, I might do a 5.2 grain Bullseye also. You can see I'm using Bullseye. Got my nice iced coffee. I'll be using Bullseye for this load, for these loads. Develop 5 loads, and then when I get a chance to go out to the range, we'll be testing those. Okay, so I figured I'd give a brief description of the components I'm gonna be using. I have Barry's bullets, 180 grain flat point. Winchester Small Pistol primers. The data that I got is from these 2 books, Lyman and Lee. I will be using a Lee auto disc powder measure with a powder funnel to dispense the loads. These are the discs that I will be using. Okay, so let's get these going. This load development will be for the 40 compact 3.6. I probably will shoot some of these rounds in the Model 27 Glock, but mainly they're going to be developed for this pistol. So this one will be the testing platform for these loads. So I'm guessing this is kind of turning out to a step-by-step video, but just wanted to go over how the auto disc works. So you have these discs, and right here is the measurement. I can't remember what B calls it, VDM. So this right here corresponds to a certain amount of powder dispense depending on the powder. This one of course is 4.3. So according to the chart, it's 4 grains of Bullseye, and then you would change it. You can see I have the secondary disc that I will be using. So that's a 5.3. 5.3 corresponds to 5 grains of Bullseye, and then there's the 4.9 and the 4.6 that I'll be using. So basically you put this here, you mount this on top, and every time that you crank the handle, this slides and dispenses powder down the hole into the shell. I've been using a Hornady electronic scale with GS 1500 for about 3 years now. It uses 2 AAA batteries. Never had any issues with it. Measures really good. So let's get this going again. So this is just a tip that I normally do when I'm developing loads, is I make some rounds with spent primer so that I can use these to powder and measure, not to also to provide the bell. Sometimes you may put a little bit too much bell on the shell itself and you end up ruining it, and therefore, because I usually prime my cases before I powder them, I end up ruining a shell that's already been primed. Then I got to take the primer out and I got to reprime another shell. So I have 5 shells here that I can use at my disposal. I will also be using these to set the seating depth, because like I said, sometimes you make mistakes, you don't get it right, you do it too much, you seat the bullet too deep, and I do not have a bullet puller. I need to buy one. My bullet puller got ruined during some floods that we had in my area back in 2005. And yes, I haven't taken time to buy one. But anyway, so this is just a suggestion. You make some dummy shells that you can just use to bell and seat bullets that you will not ruin other shells that you've already primed, in my case. All right, let's keep going. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is seating. So it took me 6 tries to get the seating correct on this 40. Because I made the mistake of not trying to find a 40 bullet to use the seat depth. So the first couple of shells, I went ahead and crimped them without seating any bullet, just to make sure. And you can see what happened here. I seated and crimped it and really messed up the bullet. Here I changed the seating depth and I depthed it too much. This one was too long, but I had already crimped it, so I couldn't seat it again. This one was almost correct, but I finally got it right. This one right here drops in the case gauge just fine. And important thing is the chambers in the factory barrel that I'm going to be using. So I'm good here. Seating the bullet is correct. So what I'll do next is I'll start powdering some shells and then go ahead and seating some bullets, and that'll be the first 10. Because I wasted 5 bullets here, I will not be doing a 5th load. I will only be doing 4 loads total. All right, so this is the first batch. This load is 4.0. The scale has it at 3.9, 4.1, but you know, it's a matter of, you know, a tad bit of grains falling out or falling in. But it's not going to be accurately when you weigh it, but it'll be approximately a 0.1 grain off, which is not a big deal. If you're off by a whole lot grain or a whole grain, then you're worried about it. So these have been already seated, and these are measuring at 1.69, which is actually over the 1.135 recommended, but the case gauge shows them to be just fine. Checked all of them. Yeah, they're all good. So what I'll do is I'll mark these as 4.0, set them aside, and I know that these 10 are 4.0 grains, and when I shoot them, I'll record them as such. I think that'll be it for this. I'm gonna go ahead and reload and start doing the other 4 development loads. If you have any questions, as usual, questions, concerns, gripes, comments, go ahead and post them. I don't mind answering questions if I see the notification. Sometimes I don't see the notification for a couple of days. When I'm not doing this stuff, I'm doing other stuff, and I'm somewhat of a busy man to a certain extent, and a family man, and a working man. So, like I said, this is just a short video to discuss the development of the 40 loads for the M&P 40 compact 3.6-inch barrel, and see how that works out. The follow-up video to this one will probably be the range shooting, to see how accurate these loads are. And depending on what load I choose, I'll stick with that and load the remaining 500 shells that I have primed. So it'll be approximately, I don't know, 450 rounds. The box was 1,000, so once I spent those shells, I'll reload them again. Like I said, thanks for watching. Please post any comments. Thank you.